I think we have some catching up to do. It's already January 22nd. I did have a lovely Christmas time and time with friends. One of my really good friends, Tessa, had a Christmas party that I had a lot of fun at. And little Mr. Billy boy. Billy! Hi!
You guys mean so much to me.
Love you.
I love her hard.
I'm getting in it. I'm getting in it.
You smell so good.
And at the cameras, oh my god, this is what loving life looks like.
A storm hit Victoria and we had this like beautiful blustery day. Whenever a windy day comes, my mom and I always say to each other, it's a blustery day, Christopher Robin. Anyways, Sarah and I went a really, really long walk. I think this was on the 28th of December. It felt like this like big wash of the year and kind of just blew away anything that we were holding on to, and it was just a really lovely walk together.
Watch the sun fall beneath the hill, and all the earth is still. The glow of day displays its final and since the days have turned to lies, time just passes by. Day after day, you won't open your eyes.
Hey, good morning. Back seats of my car have been taken out because of all the work done on it, but I'm back in my car. It's fixed, which is so amazing. I feel so happy and lucky and grateful to have my car back. Yeah, there's been a lot of things going on in my personal life. I think y'all know that I'm a pretty private person, so I'm not always so forthright with sharing information about stuff, but I signed the lease on a new place and I'm moving out of my current home on February 1st, and it's very bittersweet. Obviously incredibly emotionally draining. I feel very heavy-hearted. There's so much that's gone into this, and you know what's going on, I'm sure you can imagine, but I'm feeling pretty okay right now. I think it's the hardest when you are like trying to get to that or trying to make that decision and learning to accept it and realize that that's what's happening, but it definitely feels very real now, especially since I signed a lease, I paid the damage deposit. And yeah, I mean, there's a million and one things I could say about this that'll probably be peppered in this whole new chapter that I'm in, or this new thing that's happening, but basically new year and new everything is happening to me, which I'm trying to learn to embrace and be patient with myself. Breakups suck. It's not pleasant for anybody involved, and I think it feels especially intense sometimes when it's a situation that you really didn't think that you were going to be in, or you had I don't know. I think that like we had been cultivating this relationship that was looking like a lifelong partnership. That's obviously not what's happening, so I think it can feel a little bit different and a little bit scarier when that was the reality that you were living in before. I am feeling a little bit more creative, or more, I don't know. I have been like have had so much screen time and, you know, draining myself, and I kind of think I turned, or something changed yesterday, and I feel so much better. I don't know, I think I was just like kind of stuck in this numb vortex. I just finished yoga. Did I say that at the beginning of this? I haven't been in quite some time. It's always very busy at this time of year at any yoga studio or fitness studio or whatever, so there's a lot of new faces, but I'm happy to be getting back into my practice, and my new place is a lot closer to my yoga studio, so I'm very happy about that, so I can go to yoga more. My new place is also really close to some friends, and yeah, I think it'll be good for me. I'm feeling positive about my choice in place. Yeah, I'll show you a couple other, because I'm so nosy and want to see, you know, different apartments, but I did tour a couple apartments before I landed on this one that I decided to go with, so I'll show you those. Okay, these first two places that I viewed were both in the same building. This one was on the first floor and it was $17.95. This is in like Fairfield, Cook Street Village area, so an area I like and is very walkable to places that I already frequent in Victoria, so I was definitely into the location and I liked the wood floors. It had a charm to it. It was like an older building. There was laundry in the building, although they had like a laundry schedule and not many machines, so that was, and it was like, I think there's quite a few suites in this building, so that definitely was a red flag to me. However, the price was good. No parking, which was unfortunate. Actually, maybe there was parking, but there was like a wait list for spots, and I think it was like full. And I did like the charm of it. I liked this big storage, or this big closet in the hallway. I definitely was not thinking too much about storage, and my new place does not have very much storage, so I maybe should have been more mindful of it, but for some reason this place just didn't have the best vibe to me. This is the second suite on the second floor, and it was, I think, $18.50, a little bit more. I'm not sure why. I think the footprint was the exact same. Even though both of these suites were south facing, they did face onto another building, so it wasn't as bright as I had hoped they would be. Before I went in, I was hoping that it was a south facing suite, and it was, but then it wasn't super bright. I think oftentimes when you have a apartment suite that only has windows on one side, it's kind of hard to, you know, obviously light the whole apartment. So I definitely was mindful of this and was thinking for work and stuff, this might be a little bit of a challenge. And I don't know, something about the energy of it I was not jiving with. I think it was a beautiful, charming building. I like that they both had this designated dining area, and they both had these beautiful like built-in retrofitted fireplaces, which I thought were really cool and beautiful. I liked all this shelving that was at the front. But yeah, I don't know. I just like didn't love them. I applied to this building, but just because I was like frantic trying to find a place, but I ended up obviously not choosing these ones. This next place was in Oak Bay, and I love Oak Bay, but as I was driving out here, I definitely felt like it was a bit far for my liking, and it wasn't very walkable to a grocery store or anything really that I normally frequent in Victoria. It was in an old heritage designated building, and it was, I think, maybe like 5 suites in it, and this one was at the very top floor. It was $21.50, and then there would have been an extra $100 for parking, but it was like a designated parking spot. And I thought this was beautiful, actually. I liked it a lot more than I was thinking I was going to like it from the photos I had seen. It had a ton of storage. I like those stairs that went up to the suite, which I thought was nice. Because it was on the top floor of this big home, it did have windows on 3 of the 4 sides. However, the windows were small, and that was kind of messing with me a little bit. I felt like this bedroom felt really small and not super bright. And I think for filming, I just didn't know if it was going to be bright enough. It did have a ton of storage. Did I mention that already? Like full attic space, because this was on the very top floor, and 2 big closets. I could have also gotten a storage like locker or whatever in the basement if I wanted as well. See, like this one is like a huge, like goes all the way to it was massive. I think this is when she was telling me that you could see the ocean on a clear day from these windows, which is beautiful. I actually think you might be able to see the ocean from my new place as well. So I thought it was really charming. I mean, obviously it's such a beautiful place. The floors are incredible. The kitchen is so cool. Like I love the checkered floors. But just overall, I don't know. I did not have, I don't know. There's this energy that I was not really connected to this place. And I did apply to this and I did get this place, but I did end up turning it down, obviously, to get my other place. Sarah and Jake's parents threw them an engagement party, and it was so lovely, a really beautiful, like intimate night, and I helped do the flowers and just like help helped do some of the planning, and it was just so beautiful, and it was so lovely to celebrate them. They got engaged over the summertime, but they both have very busy schedules, so we weren't actually able to celebrate then. I feel so honored to be Sarah's best friend. She knows all this stuff. I think you know too. We have such an incredible friendship.
And thank you so much to Sarah, Ray, the other one, Sarah won. And everyone else that came and helped out for this party. Thank you so much.
You know, I had this plan to do all this like New Year resolution and just kind of like check in and recalibration. Whenever I was chatting with friends about New Year's resolutions and kind of things that I want to focus on, I've been more or less focused on words rather than like actual resolutions. And I have 3 words that I really want to focus on this year. The first is discipline. I would put myself under the category of lazy person, and I think I really need to hone in on disciplining myself, and not in like a harsh, you know, like I must suffer in order to achieve success kind of way, but I do feel like I am very lax with my, I don't know. I just think I could be more disciplined and work in my health, in my eating habits, in every aspect of my life. I think I could be more disciplined, so that's something I've been really wanting to focus on. I'm not gonna lie, for the past few weeks, I've definitely fallen into a little bit of a slump, definitely giving myself grace, but I have been watching a lot of TV and spending a lot of time on my phone. I think once my move is over with and I'm a little bit more settled, I'll be able to really focus on this, but discipline is gonna be huge for 2025. The next one is discernment. I think that I have discernment in so many aspects of my life, but I think it's a skill that I really would like to practice at a little bit more. And I think more so discernment in understanding my own feelings and being able to parse through things that maybe I am like more ambiguous or vague about in my life. And so I think that really practicing discernment feels like a direction I want to head in. And then lastly is creativity. I believe everyone to be creative, and I think it is such a practice and a ritual that you need to impart in your daily life to really cultivate a rich, creative inner life and outer life, and that's something that I really would love to work on this year. I've started writing on my Substack about my move, and I'm going to continue to, so please, if you would like to subscribe to my Substack, you can. All of my posts are going to be free, so definitely would encourage you to do that. Yeah, I went to Jamie XX last night. I was just in Vancouver, or I guess not last night, 2 nights ago, and I think that really underscored my lust to be more creative. I felt it to be deeply inspiring, and I really enjoyed the show. I mean, it was like very ravey, and like I think he was trying to kill us with those strobe lights, but I think it just always, anytime I experience something like that, I go to see live music, I go to an art museum, I go to a play, I go see somebody expressing their creativity. It's reminding me that like I need to be an active audience member, and I think building an audience in a creative space is really important too, and I think that's something that maybe we're seeing a decline in. I don't know. I've definitely read a couple interesting pieces, and I couldn't name them right now, but just like information that has stuck with me about how we definitely have strayed away from an active audience culture, and I think that that's something that I would like to kind of be a more present member of. I really appreciate your patience with me, and thank you for being here and all your incredibly kind messages. I think that was another thing I wanted to mention that has been on my mind a lot, and I've ran in, like, so many of you over the past 6 months to a year have said hi to me in person, and I just want to reiterate how grateful I am for this community and for all of you. Every single one of you is so kind, and you all have beautiful auras and energy that I can never thank you enough. During this whole like transition phase, and I know like a couple of people have kind of figured out what's going on in my life, have reached out to me and have been so incredibly kind, and my friends and my family. Like, I feel really grateful. I think this would be so much harder if I didn't have that, and there has been times in my life where I have been going through breakups or whatever where I haven't had this type of community. It really made a huge difference, and I think it will continue to make a difference in my healing process. I just want to say I love you so much.
Higher places
choice, a regret, a privilege.